Let's podcast after dark alongside Joe Giglio. I'm Joe Ovies. The Carolina Hurricanes. Joe looked like the Carolina Hurricanes tonight, and they staved off elimination, forcing Game 5 back in Raleigh on Wednesday. More importantly, it's over. It's over. Our long national nightmare dating back to 2006 is finally over. When they broke out the stat on the broadcast tonight that Rod Brindamore scored a goal in the last time the Carolina Hurricanes won an Eastern Conference Finals game, I grew even more gray hair, more gray spouted. I lost more hair in the process, but it's over. It's done. They're off the schneid. No more you, Joe Boo.
You did good work this morning.
We did the summoning circle today. We got the candles. We got the OG light. We got the Ranton jersey out. Played a little Deftones, a little Poltergeist. We were pulling out all the stops. Hell, we might have to talk to Rod.
Is it too late?
I don't think it's too late.
Okay.
It's a new series, Joe. Who says we can't talk to him? Anyway, it's over. Canes won. Big thanks to Bloomin' Blinds for bringing you After Dark. Give them a call, 919-980-9815. We'll be joined by Mike Maniscalco and Luke DeCock of the News and Observer here shortly.
More thanks to Jaccob Slavin.
Yeah.
What a game.
Yes.
You got Four Nations Slavin tonight. I thought he was the difference in the game. Logan Stankoven, you score a goal like he did.
Yes.
The pass from Nikishin, unbelievable. Again, Nikishin, all those things that people were saying about him. Okay, here you are.
Yeah.
But I think I make this mistake often when we talk about hockey players. We tend to overlook defensemen.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say your best players have to be your best player, well, I think the one person we usually forget is that Jaccob Slavin actually is their best player. Thought Freddie Anderson was fine tonight.
Freddie was good.
He was calm. It's kind of what they needed was that little calming presence.
Yep.
But I thought for the most part, they were in Zamboni protocols, Zamboni driver protocols. Like they weren't letting anything get to Freddie.
No,
it was really impressive.
But he still had to make some key saves tonight.
He did. And before we bring Mike on, let me give you a couple stats that have to be concerning if you're the Florida Panthers. They're now 1 for 28 on the power play at home.
Okay.
In these playoffs, the fact that they're winning in spite of that, they're 4-3 at home, 7-2 on the road in the playoffs. That's alarming if I'm them. And then I threw the papers up last episode because their depth was just so great.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the injuries are starting to have an impact, and I think people are confused about what injuries are in the playoffs. Sam Reinhart led this team in scoring during the year.
He's a big deal. There's a reason why the Panthers were upset at Sebastian.
This isn't like, let me just, and again, I get Boquist comes in, scores an unbelievable goal, but that's a big deal that he doesn't play in this game. The other guy was Nico Mikkola on defense. Obviously, he had a collision with the boards on his shoulder. That did not look good for them. I thought some of those injuries really affected the Florida Panthers in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way, if you're the Hurricanes, that you can give yourself a little bit of hope. And before Mike chimes in here, I've seen this from some people on the socials. This is the playoffs. If you can play, you're going to play.
Yes.
So the idea that Mo is like giving Sam Reinhart rest is total and complete nonsense.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Jalen Chatfield.
The idea that Mikkola just needed a fucking breather.
No.
Guys, you got a whole fucking offseason for a breather.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, that's not how the world works. That's not how hockey works. No one's taking a breather. Okay? So those injuries are significant, and I thought they were a different team tonight without those two players in particular.
Mike Maniscalco, Canes play-by-play, joining us now on the Heathrow Automotive Group hotline. Like we talked about in Game 3, expectation to put Freddie Anderson back out there, a little bit more of a calming presence that you need in a situation like this to extend the series, which they did tonight. I thought he made some key saves, but as Joe mentioned, Zamboni protocols, David Ayer protocols, they were selling out for everything tonight, and it paid off with the win.
No, that was Canes hockey tonight, guys. Yep. I mean, that was what we saw against New Jersey and Washington, but that's what you see when you're playing a team like Florida and even down 3 key pieces. And I don't want to gloss over the AJ Greer being out of the lineup for them because Paul Maurice was really balancing the lines and giving that fourth line a bunch of minutes. And with AJ Greer out, he only gave that fourth line, I think, like 2.5 minutes in the first period. So, they got out of their rhythm a little bit like that. The Canes got into their rhythm. And they did what they did. They suppressed shots. They didn't allow a ton. They didn't allow a ton on Freddie, and you can call it whatever protocol you want. But that was, for the first time in this series, we saw Carolina Hurricanes hockey for 60 minutes. That's what we saw. And, it's against Florida. Tripp kept saying it's not going to be easy. It won't be easy. But I think that everything that needed to happen for you to be a Canes fan and have belief, and it is okay. I got to call John Walton. It's his line up with the Washington Capitals. It's okay to believe. But if you look at, you get the big goal from Logan Stankoven. Alexander Nikishin makes a brilliant play on that springs Stankoven to score the goal. Then on the empty net goals, it's that whole line of Jarvis, Svechnikov, Aho. I love that Svechnikov drops it off and says, "You score it, Sebastian. Get this going for you." And then the captain scores the goal to make it 3-0. And then the shutout. I don't care if it was 20 saves or 2 saves tonight. That's good that you shut out this team because Sergei Bobrovsky is really good. He only gives up 1 goal in this game, but you needed to send a message that we're still alive. It ain't over yet. It's whatever you want, Monty Python. We're not dead yet. So don't ring the bell and just get ready for game number 5 Wednesday night.
Yeah, that's the thing. You wanted to see the Kings, even if they had lost tonight, you needed to see them respond in the way they've been embarrassed the first 3 games of this series. Okay, but they won. Great. More content for us. Another night at Lenovo Center to drink all the beer. So we'll take it, right? So I want to go with layers. Let's start with who I think has been the best player for the Carolina Hurricanes consistently, even in the losses, and that is Logan Stankoven. This is, as Canes stats brand put out on Blue Sky, Stankoven goals now is 5th in the playoffs, has more goals than Natchez ever scored in the playoffs for the Carolina Hurricanes. You can retcon the Mikko Rantanen trade that ends up with him on it, but if you just kind of look at the final haul, I mean, honestly, what they got and what they have in this guy is pretty damn impressive. The dude's been, if you want to go full Pat McAfee, he's got that dog in him. Okay,
he does.
He's got that dog in him, and our short king has been the reason why, or was the reason why, in the last game and this game, they had any sort of energy. And then you take that layer, then you ask the guys that Rod kind of called out in the last game, in the post game, to finally step up. And while Sebastian Aho and Andrei Svechnikov, the goal got taken off, all that kind of stuff initially, and I know you and Tripp talk about it. There's ways to affect play, get shots going, all that kind of stuff. And you saw that out of Svechnikov and Aho specifically. And then we'll talk about the defensive pairing here in a second. But I thought Svechnikov and Aho, you hope there's a carryover effect in the game 5 that they can be more consistent in getting on the board.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hope. Logan Stankoven has been, in this series, the Canes' most consistent and then therefore best forward. But he plays the same every night. He is just a bulldog. Yep. He is fun to watch. And for his size, he doesn't back down from nothing. He just doesn't. He doesn't take any crap off of anybody. And the way that he wins board battles, he's got a great shot. He's got great hands. Canes fans, considering how that situation could have unfolded and what it has turned into, you made the most of it to that point. And you just move on for the pieces that aren't here. And, hey, you wish them luck and a good career. That's how I view these things. For me to see that consistency, if you're going to push this back to Florida, what you just said, Ovies, has to happen. That Andrei Svechnikov and Sebastian Aho need to carry this game over into Raleigh on Wednesday, and they need to score 5-on-5.
Yep.
If that happens, we got a chance of seeing a game 6.
And hey, to your point about Canes hockey, the Canes actually, I mean, up until this point, what was the stat? The Canes have been outscored 12-1, 5-on-5 in this series, but 5-on-5 tonight. I think we almost went a full period without the Panthers having a shot on goal. So again, that gets back to the Canes playing like what we're used to seeing out of the Carolina Hurricanes. If this series is about who can impose this style better than the other, the Canes finally got that tonight.
Yeah, that's my big extraction from this game, that the Canes imposed their will and forced Florida to chase it around a little bit. And I think we also now have seen it's no fluke. Scoring the first goal is big for these teams because you can really get in to do what you want to do when you get that lead, as opposed to having to chase it, because these teams will choke you out, man. If you give them a lead, they are real comfortable saying, yeah, we can win this thing 1-0 if we have to.
Now, defensively, Jake, like Joe said, Jaccob Slavin was fantastic tonight, but it just wasn't him.
No.
Jaccob Slavin and Brent Burns had to play a hell of a lot of minutes tonight. And I know that Burns is the guy that people want to focus on when he makes a mistake. And we forget that he's also, and I'm not saying he was perfect tonight. Do not get me wrong. But when you put that amount of minutes and that age, I thought overall, Slavin clearly the best defender on the ice, the best player on the ice at times. But Burns also had a pretty good game, all things considered, too, given the minutes.
Yeah, and look, this is a game of mistakes. Everybody's gonna make a mistake or have a shift where they're not at their best. But I'm also gonna go to Dmitry Orlov, who a lot of people didn't want to see play in game number 4, and he had the bounce back games. He was good. And you need those 3 guys to be good defensively to have a chance. And Dmitry Orlov was, and Alexander Nikishin with each passing game. Again, a couple of things here that you can see him starting to sharpen and adjust to the game here in the NHL, but he was good. Shane Gostisbehere had some big plays, and when Brent Burns was in the box for a penalty, he's starting off on the kill. So there was a lot to like out of the Carolina Hurricanes tonight. And if you're trying to find fault, you're literally just either the most negative human being on planet Earth, or you love to nitpick, one or the other.
What do you think happens with Morrow in game 5?
I think it depends on, like what you're saying, nobody's being saved because you're trying to keep them fresh for something else. If Sean Walker is healthy enough to play, he'll come in. But you know what? I thought that from where Scott Morrow was to what I saw here tonight, he was fine. You're not gonna play him probably more than 14 minutes, probably not more than 12. You're gonna try to find a way to get matchups and all that, but he was fine. And at home you have a chance to really get him out in favorable situations. So, but that all depends on the health situation for the Carolina Hurricanes and their blue line.
Mike, you got to go. Get in the bus.
Yep.
Got to go back to Raleigh.
Yep.
All right, man. We appreciate it. Guess what? I get to break out the graffiti mic on Wednesday. Let's go. Let's go. All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, boys.
Mike Maniscalco, Canes play-by-play. Do we try to sneak in Mike's payment for After Dark on Wednesday, or do we hold off?
The bottle?
Yeah.
No need to.
Have we snuck it?
That kind of contraband.
I was gonna say, have we snuck enough into the building already? Do we have to sneak some more in?
No need to get us in any country.
Fair enough. This is from Matt, who hit me up on social media. This is basically the Canes tonight. It's that meme where the guy's getting a medal and he's super, super excited. He's throwing up double birds. And next thing you know, it's like, oh, wait a minute. What did you actually win after popping the champagne? Win a single Eastern Conference Finals game. Let's go. I'm not here for your negativity.
It's better than the alternative.
Look,
and quite frankly, I thought it would be. I thought they would get swept.
Look,
especially after the way that the third period went in game 3.
Yeah.
So that's a spectacular bounce back. Again, nice move by Rod, I thought, with going back to Freddie. Yep. I could have seen them playing Jaccob. I thought Freddie did a nice job. But again, tonight was about Jaccob Slavin. Tonight was about their defense and really kind of that collective team effort of choking a team off, having that puck possession, not making mistakes, not being lackadaisical with the puck, understanding the urgency. And, there's a difference between Taylor Hall in game 3, trying to flip the puck through the middle of the ice, and what Nikishin did with the backhanded pass to Stankoven for the goal. Those are 2 different things.
Yeah.
And I get it. There's some people who, you look at the first 3 games and you go, man, like, why was that such an out-of-body experience? I thought the first 2 periods of game 3 were important for the Hurricanes to give themselves an ounce of confidence, if you will. I thought they were able to carry that over today. Again, not giving up that early goal, not chasing the game the way that they have been was really important. But I want to tell you, a lot of tonight was about Florida to me.
Okay.
And again, now 1 for 28 on their home ice on the power play is like vintage Canes-esque. That's not good.
Well, I mean,
that's really not good.
If we talk about the fact that they're very much like the Canes, then yes, you're going to have some situations that look very, very familiar to Canes fans.
That's not good. And again, the fact that Reinhart and Mikkola couldn't play, that's not good for them either. Mikola had been, in my opinion, their best player
Mm-hmm.
through the first three games. I mean, he was a force. And then to have the depth play out the way that it did with Boquist scoring and Greer going again, Mike brings up that Greer didn't play in this game either. It's all part of the playoffs, but part of the playoffs is playing injured. And as we've seen with Chatfield, when you can't, there's a reason.
Yeah, there's a reason
This
why.
this isn't rest, as I've seen from some people. This isn't, we'll be fresh for the cup final.
No, it doesn't work that way.
No.
Yeah.
You play if you can.
I'm not gonna say who texted us, but they asked, are the Florida Panthers playing with their food tonight? No, absolutely not.
No, I didn't get that sense. I thought they were missing, think about it. If the Hurricanes didn't have Seth Jarvis, you'd be like, well, they don't have their top goal scorer.
Right.
Well, yeah. It has an effect. And I thought the fact that they've been able to win without Reinhart, the fact that, let's also go back to Tkachuk. Again, I've talked a lot about 2023 and Tkachuk being the difference in that series.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's not healthy either. He's not 100% either. He missed all that time after the Four Nations because of the groin injury. He's obviously played throughout the playoffs, but he's playing hurt.
Yeah.
He's playing hurt. And, a lot of their goals, you said, they've been outscored 12-1 and 5-on-5 and blah, blah, blah. A lot of their goals have just been window dressing, to be perfectly honest with you. The Boquist goal was huge. The Greer goal was
window
huge.
dressing in what sense?
It was just, it wasn't germane to the outcome of the game.
Oh, I mean, Florida was clearly better.
It was like, I'm feeling good about popping these things in, but
Yeah.
ultimately they didn't decide the game.
No.
The game was decided by the big Greer goal
Yes.
in game one, by the Boquist goal in game three. Game two was just a wipeout. Game two, they get those goals early. The 3-0 goals in game two were just, here we are, we're dominating you. They put their dick on the table in game two.
But I also thought, too, not only did the Canes finally play like the team that we know they're capable of playing, and again, a lot of that credit goes to the Florida Panthers for completely disrupting the Canes, getting in the Canes' head, playing. I know Paul Maurice talked about this with one of the all-time Paul Maurice quotes in relation to shotgunning a beer in church. When they're on the ice and they're playing brash, yeah, you're shotgunning the beers, but when you go into church, you're going to be respectful, you're going to be humble. Like, it's two completely different things in context, right? So you're not going to mix the two. And the Panthers did their absolute best to play that game and completely shock and put the Canes in a position that they had not necessarily been familiar with, and just looked completely out of body, as we mentioned in the last two games. And I agreed with Luke after game three in that this was trending towards, and it still very well might, depending on how game five goes, be the most embarrassing of the series that we've ever seen in the postseason for the Carolina Hurricanes. Because you can't just wash away the first three games because they finally got off the schneid and won this game. But hockey is a game where you got to take care of your breaks too. And I thought the Canes were fortunate. You mentioned not just the penalty kill, which did an outstanding job. Don't get me wrong. Canes penalty kill did a fantastic job tonight. But the Canes also got some breaks with those 2 4-on-4s. The refs did not need to
Nikishin for the embellishment.
Yeah, if that's
that was a break.
So they got a break in the roughing call on the first one that was a 4-on-4. That's what you should do. But we've seen it, and I saw this.
That was a retaliation.
That was a retaliation. But here's the thing about up until that point, and I was confused by this because we didn't get our first penalty until the Blake penalty on that slash. I mean, they were letting some stuff go. There were clear trips they didn't call. There was some roughing they didn't call. I'm like, all right, you're swallowing the whistles tonight. Cool, whatever. So I was like, when they called the Blake slash, I'm like, that's your first penalty of the game, given what we've seen in the first 10 minutes?
I feel like the Blake slash was he did it like 3 different times. And then they were like, okay, well, what are these?
So that's where I thought we ended up getting it with the Tkachuk. And I know the TNT broadcast did a good job of highlighting earlier in the game where they probably could have gotten Tkachuk on an embellishment and decided to do it there. But what's weird in that situation, and this is what I'm illustrating this just to simply point out the Canes got some breaks here, which is what you need to win a tight game like this and get those 4-on-4 opportunities. In that, if we understand that was a clear penalty on Stahl, it's like should negate any sort of embellishment. But of course, that was the officials making a point on Tkachuk in that particular situation. So it all kind of worked out in the end. One other point of contention, not a point of contention, but I feel like this is a good opportunity to bring this up before we start getting into the YouTube comments and to the OG Sports Phone. Nikishin, we mentioned that pass that he had, registered his first point as an NHL player for the Carolina Hurricanes. And I thought overall he had a pretty damn good game, all things considered. And you could see that it was a build off the previous game. Say what you want about it. It was embarrassing for everybody outside of Kochetkov early and Logan Stankoven. But if you went back and watched some of it, or you asked the hockey knowers, they're like, oh, Nikishin had a pretty good game. And you saw it really come to fruition tonight. And this is all I'm just bringing this up, and indulge me to belabor a point as it relates to Nikishin and the process in which they finally got him out there. I did not like the actualing that occurred after Game 5 of the Washington series for his NHL debut.
In what sense?
I took it as, hey man, all things considered, ... All things considered, I thought Nikishin had a okay game in his NHL debut. But a funny thing happened between Game 5 and then when we started debating whether or not he should have been in over Morrow. And it was a very much, and look, we've talked about it with Luke. I saw it on social media. Like, oh, well, actually, Nikishin didn't have that good of a game. He's doing XYZ against an old Alexander Ovechkin and all this other stuff. It's like, it was his first damn game, guys. Like a little bit of context here. And maybe, I don't know, if you give him some more reps and he gets more comfortable, Rod Brindamore said it himself. You might not know English, but you know hockey. Okay, that's a little scared money don't make money energy, a little stubbornness of, there's all these things why we can't put him out there. I don't know. Last time I checked, I thought the guy could ball. I thought the guy could puck. You moved heaven and earth to get him here. So freaking play him. What else you got to lose at this point? You're going to have to take some risks here. And I think finally, we're getting there, but I almost feel like they delayed it a little bit by not playing him when they had an opportunity to do so. Maybe it's a nitpick, it's whatever, but you can't sit here and be like, man, he had a really good game. Well, yeah, man, he's had some more reps. Of course he's going to get more comfortable here. If he's as good as advertised, once he gets his feet under him, this is what you see. And it gives optimism for people going forward. It's just my own little nitpick as it relates to the Nikishin thing. I'm not going to get too deep on it, but I thought that you probably could have seen this a little bit earlier. Maybe you saw this. You could have seen more of this yesterday. I'm not saying the Canes are winning this series if they played Nikishin earlier. I'm simply saying you probably would have gotten this earlier from Nikishin. That's all I'm saying. All right, to the YouTube comments. Yes, the streak is over. Let's freaking go. From Thief of Oranges, the Nikishin to Stank goal got me so fucking bricked. Yeah, man. People got hyped up on that one. Let's see. Don't y'all whiners come in here tonight acting like y'all were with the team the whole time. A lot of y'all embarrassed yourselves this past week. Splinter, it's people just voicing their frustrations, man. I don't see Chris Cody in the chat. Where's Jose Pantalones? Where's my Bob Licious guy? Or whatever the guy's name is. I'm not seeing a lot of this. What's going on here? Isn't that how it usually works? All the things that were right? Anyway, just wanted to make that out.
We got at least 2 people in Alaska.
That's good.
Watching right now or commenting.
That's good.
Right now.
That's good.
Take that.
So, all right.
Cup is just water tonight. I played beer darts yesterday. Mistakes were made.
Oh, you're struggling today, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? Where were you playing beer darts?
My front lawn.
Did you drink all the OG Light?
No. This was ultra natural light. Your mass produced beer flavor.
Are you out of OG Light?
That's close. You just got me 4. So
I just got you 4. Those are from my own personal stash. It's okay. We're gonna go back to the we're gonna go back to Bond and fire up some more cans. All right, let's go to the OG sports phone, shall we? It is brought to you by Nature's Relief.
919-444-2211. Call the OG sports phone and curse or don't.
Check out Nature's Relief's website. They deliver now, by the way. They deliver. naturesreliefhempstore.com. What are you shaking your head at?
Serena always trying to get me in trouble.
I have not looked at the chats here. Yeah. Celebratory shots at Foundation after the fact. You ready, Joe? We're not doing a show tomorrow.
Slow. You boy slow.
Why do you do this to yourself?
I just said mistakes were made.
You're 50, bro. You should know yourself by now.
Whoa.
I'm just saying.
Cats in the cradle.
I'm just saying by now you should know yourself.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
I'm just saying. All right, let's go to 804.
Hey, OG. This is Tagaumi. I'm definitely not a hockey expert, but tonight's performance was just confusing, if more than anything, because where has this been all series? We were actually playing Hurricane hockey. We were getting pucks in deep, forechecking, taking shots. Canes in 7.
Canes in 7. I think it was Hayes had posted from the Rialto that he knows for sure. What was it? The Canes either have 1 game left or as many as 11. I think it was. Has the math worked out? Well, we'll see where it goes. All right. To answer the question, where was this? Again, I think that's discrediting the way the Florida Panthers started the series out, and the Canes just being knocked back, man, and not knowing how to react. And I do think that the storyline of having not won an Eastern Conference Finals game was in their head.
One to bed.
That was in their head.
Yeah.
But you had to break through. At some point, you got to break through. What does it mean going forward? I don't know, but you had to break through.
We all would prefer that to be game 2.
Game 2 would have been the moment.
And then game 3, where they had it tied going into the third period.
Yep.
They played to their identity tonight.
Yes.
And that has to make you at least feel better. I was thinking of a tweet if they had lost tonight that, 2023, the difference between the Hurricanes and the Panthers isn't that much, right? And you put the emphasis on that. And then 2025 it would be the difference between the Panthers and the Hurricanes can't be this much, right? I mean, you had 3 games there that were just total and complete wipeouts for the Carolina Hurricanes, completely out of character as well. The mistakes in the neutral zone, just not taking care of the puck, not having the possession, being dominated in the other end, unable to impose their will. And I do think the injuries helped tonight. I do. But I also thought when Rod calls people out after a game, he does it intentionally. This isn't, well, let me look good in front of Luke and Adam. That's in the post game.
Yeah, that's not why he does it. It's
I'm
rare.
calling people out intentionally.
It's rare.
And so when he doesn't say their names, right? He said the rookies can't be our best players. Now, ironically enough, the rookies were very, very good.
They were very good tonight.
Very important.
Very good tonight. Yeah.
Very important. But again, Jaccob Slavin is the best player on this team, and he was tonight. And that's where you see their real advantage in any of this. And I know we'll get into what their roster might look like in a couple of weeks and all those other things.
Yeah, there's time for that.
But he is the foundation of this team.
Because we got a 7-game series to talk about.
He is the foundation.
That's why. 828.
Gentlemen, game 2 in Lenovo last week after the game was over was taking a piss in the club level bathrooms, and bad vibes all around, but mentioned to a fellow Caniac while we were standing there that, I think the Canes can take one from the Panthers. I think they can sneak one into the series. I didn't think it was going to be a sweep. Pretty expletive-laced response from him. He wasn't vibing with it. He was in a way worse mood than me. Don't know if he's a listener of the pod, but if he is, I'll tell him, fuck you, baby. Canes in 7. Let's fucking go.
I love our listeners. All right, to 252.
Hey guys, Kyle here. Crack the beer, OG light on top, light the candles, stave, baby, stave. Brand new series, boys. Let's go. At least until Wednesday. Go Canes.
I love the optimism, y'all. I love the
because the flip side of those problems at home for the Panthers is they've been dominant on the road. Yeah. 7-2 thus far, and obviously their power play numbers are significantly better than 1 for 28. It'll be, you'll see some of their effort again, some of their fire again in game 5. Obviously,
Wednesday's going to be nasty.
But I love how much it the axiom of that first goal kind of holds true. particularly with the Hurricanes. Like they're just a team that you just, when they don't have to chase and they can control and they don't have to get out of character or try to do things that's beyond them, I feel like that gives them their best path to a win.
All right, 2-9-1-9.
What's up, OG? Well, I'll be damned. I started this game expecting to have a negative impact on the show. I know nobody cares for fans to talk about the contracts and what we should do with the team. But, I mean, we went out there and we battled. We still made the same defensive mistakes, but Freddie Anderson came up huge for this hockey team. I mean, through the first two periods, how many power plays did the Panthers have? At least a couple. And, I mean, that's still enough of a difference that, I mean, we didn't stop that in games 1 and 3, but we stopped it tonight. So, wow, look at the Canes battle in Florida. I mean, the fans were gone on the first empty netter, something you would never see in the Lenovo Center, by the way. Our fans, somebody scores an empty netter, okay, it's 2-0. We can score 2 goals in 9 seconds in the playoffs. We have learned that. So, I don't know. Everything analytical aside, I am very proud of my Carolina Hurricanes tonight and their fight to battle. I love everything that Rod changed. You can definitely see that Rod Brindamore changed a lot in this team and how they handled things tonight. And we just got to go out there and we got to do it again. We got to do it again and again and again. And even if it doesn't happen, oh well, we'll talk about that when it comes. But tonight, man, the Canes went out there and fought. And they fought hard, and they deserved the win tonight. And that's the first time I could say that all series. And man, do I love saying that. I don't care if we're down 3-1 anymore. We're coming back to Raleigh for Game 5. Let's run it, Hurricanes. It's now a best-of-3 series where we got to win all 3. So maybe that's incorrect, but you get what I mean. We got 2 home games left to go. We can do something historic here. I'm not counting my boys out. Because I have finally seen a change in the gameplay of our team, and I'm so proud. Y'all have a good night, OG. Thank you.
May I introduce you to Florida Sports Fan? I mean, let's not forget where I grew up, all right? Let's not forget my formative sports experiences in a very front-runnery kind of town. So for people to go, well, wow, look at all the Florida fans leaving as early as they did. Yeah. Did y'all never see those Heat series back in the day too? Come on now. From Jason, I want that caller to be my life coach. Yeah, no. There's only one life coach. Shout out to Steve. With the Canes finally getting this done, I love the memes y'all are sending me. I mean, look at this. We got the Olympic gold. They finally beat Russia. Thank you to I am Iron Caniac. We love a good Star Wars reference on this program. Look, man, it's here. They won. Actually, I can't play audio on that because this is going to flag me. LucasArts, that's the video game. Lucasfilm is going to come after me. Disney will come after me playing Yub Nub. But in your minds, let's not act like we don't have an Ewok doing the little drum sesh on some helmets of the Florida Panthers. That's where we're at. All right, to a 336.
Hey, y'all, it's me again.
Oh, no, we're not doing doubles. All right, we're just raw dogging these. All right, let's keep going to another. 919.
Yeah, can we talk about Aho refusing to shoot the puck?
Was that from the other night? No, that's not real.
No, he had a couple of passes where you were like, just shoot.
Yeah, well,
please.
Svechnikov too, by the way.
2-on-1s.
Svech, same thing. Got a little too pass happy on that one. All right, to a 252.
It's Chuck from Elizabeth City. I just got to say it. I've listened to you guys. I love your show. We can put the freaking streak to rest, and it doesn't matter if we win the next game or not. And Nikishin looks like a beast, and I'm just so damn glad. And these Hurricane fans have given up on this team. Man, it's better than the Hornets. What have they done for us? Thanks, guys.
Wow, we got all right. Dave Dorn's been the one catching strays throughout this series, but now we got Hornets catching strays.
At least the Hornets have have earned it.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. Good point.
It's true.
Let's see. Let's go to a 920.
Carolina Hurricane shit is dead. Let's go, boys. Canes and 7.
All right, another 919.
Breaking news, OG. The Hurricanes are now 1-15 in Eastern Conference Finals games. How tired of that shit are we going to be until the end of Game 5? Fuck you, Kachuk.
They'll be 2-15 after Game 5. Hey, man. All starts with 1. That's all it takes. Right to a 704.
Hey guys, it's Paul. The curse is finally lifted. Don't let them get hot, boys. Don't let them get hot. Reverse sweep inbound. It's coming. It's coming. I like it. It feels good. Reverse sweep. Also, want to shout out UNC women's lacrosse, UNC baseball, beating that ass on Sunday. National champions, ACC champions, belt to ass, belt to ass. It's good. It was a good day to be a Tar Heel.
There's the hashtag. So it's always a great
day to be a Tar Heel.
Unless you don't get seated the way you want to.
And Ben Griffin won a PGA Tour event. Tar Heel.
Okay.
Yeah. National championship, women's lacrosse, ACC championship, baseball, Ben Griffin. Great weekend to be at Tar Heel.
Did we talk to him at Rex last year?
We did not talk to Ben. He was already on the tour.
Okay.
I talked to Ryan Gerard.
I could not pick Ben out of a lineup.
I understand that, but he was a Tar Heel and he won. So
Okay.
I'm just trying to give a little bit of love to UNC.
Yeah, it really was a UNC day because not even Abby Lampy could go for the three-peat at the cheese.
Oh no.
roll.
Did that happen?
She came in second. She almost got the three-peat. Almost got the three-peat. Luke DeCock, columnist, News and Observer. He's joining us, and to officially welcome him on, it happened. Stall score. Let's freaking go. Stall score. But really, it was
rare empty net use of it. Yeah, that's crazy.
But no, this thing got started with Logan Stankoven. We talked about this with Maniscalco earlier. He has been their most consistent player throughout this series, and between him and the vets responding to Rod Brind'Amour's post game after Game 3, it was a recipe for the Canes to look at that, look like the freaking Carolina Hurricanes for once in this series. What a concept!
Desperate Hurricanes, as Giglio would say.
Yes.
I mean, I think a lot of things came together tonight. It's crazy that the 1 5-on-5 goal they score is off exactly the kind of pass that's been killing them, a blind pass across the middle of the ice. But, Nikishin has the confidence to make that play and the skill to pull it off and hits Stankoven in stride and springs him down the left wing, and then a hell of a shot from Stankoven, obviously. That's huge. And then, to me, the thing was, even before the goal, the transition game, getting it out of the zone, getting it up the ice, getting it in, keeping it there. They hadn't done any of that, right? So I think they definitely drew confidence from seeing it work. And then I think the Panthers missed Nico Mikkola too. We've talked a lot about Jalen Chatfield, obviously, and then Sean Walker. But, it happens from both sides. And I think the Hurricanes were able to take advantage of that a little bit. Penalty kill's great. We talked about this after Game 3. You want Pyotr Kochetkov when you want emotion. You want Freddie Anderson when you want calm.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Anderson definitely gave them that tonight when they needed it.
All right. So looking ahead, it's been brought up. I know Joe brought it up. It's being brought up in the chat. Awesome that you staved off elimination. Great that you're taking this thing back to Raleigh in Game 5. Slight problem. Florida's pretty good on the road. They've been good on the road.
They've been better on the road.
So that's the blessing and the curse of the win. Or am I looking at this wrong? Now that they got this thing out of the conversation, they finally won an Eastern Conference game. That's off their back. Maybe they ease up a little bit. Maybe the attrition on both sides evens things out a little bit. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect on Wednesday at Novo Center.
The road thing,
you weren't probably going to win this series without. I mean, you're going to have to beat them at home to win this. That doesn't matter to me. I mean, you forced a game 5. Doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah.
Florida's been good on the road. They've been good at home too. They've been good against
4 and
you.
3 at home, Luke.
They were
We're 7 and 2 on the road, buddy. Come on.
Okay, yeah.
Don't be that way.
Joe, I saw game 3. Playing at home was not an issue for them.
Yeah.
Right. But they're 4 and 3 at home and 7 and 2 on the road. Those are the numbers. Do with them what you want, but don't tell me I'm fucking wrong.
What? I'm sorry. What's your point?
The point here would be
you're angry that you have to go home and win a game. You rather would have lost this one.
I
so
guess
you didn't have to play them on the road.
I guess the way to look at it is how much of who's been missing and things catching up to Florida is finally going to catch up to them, and as dominant as they've been on the road, it's a little bit more evened out at home. Like I guess there's some competing things here. Feeling good that you finally got this thing done, and Florida's got some things catching up to them.
No, I mean, you've been worked by this team for 3 games. Doesn't matter where they were. They could have been at Pluto. You finally played your game against them and showed you can do it for the first time since 2023. I mean, I think I would probably take some confidence from that and see where it goes. Doesn't matter where the next game is. You're going to have to beat them 3 times, at home, on the road, whatever, to win this series. Obviously, that's unlikely. But it's like home ice advantage is pretty meaningless at this point. And you just have to win every game.
Yeah. So it made sense to go to Coach Jaccob in game 3 because you had to do something. Had to change the vibe somehow. Made sense to go back to Freddie today. I'm guessing things are back to normal operating procedure on game 5 where they go back to Freddie Anderson at home.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, one, he was so good today. You have a hard
Right.
time walking away from that, even if you wanted. Like, this was fresh Freddie. So you're getting the best with that 3 days off. I don't think you have the luxury now of basically saying we're going to alternate so we get fresh Freddie in game 6. I mean, I think you have to ride Freddie and hope he can hold it together for 3 more games because I think that's your best chance of winning, pulling off the Justin Williams versus Brent Burns comeback from 3-0 down. But he was good. I mean, he was really good. And I think because of that, you definitely just have to ride him at this point. You got Kachekov in there. He wasn't the problem. You try to shake things up, but I think you have to ride Freddie now.
All right. Last thing. Nikishin. Play more games. He's going to get more comfortable. He's going to look better. I mean, I don't want to belabor the point, but it's like, and I got the whole what happened with game 5 and how good was he not. And we don't need to relitigate whether or not he should have gotten in earlier, but we're starting to see what this dude was about. Are we getting there on this?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that there's not a lot of point in sort of saying he should have been in earlier. I think you could make the argument, and I think the coaches were more frightened by his game 5 performance than anyone watching it was, because obviously they really felt like Morrow was the guy in game 1. I think in retrospect, with the benefit of 2020 hindsight, you needed to give Nikishin as much ice time as you could to get him comfortable, even if that meant making some mistakes, because the mistakes Morrow made were crippling. So you weren't gaining anything by having Morrow in there. And now we've seen what Nikishin can do now that he's sort of got his feet under him. I think that makes it sort of certainly retroactively, we've sort of retconned the Alexander Nikishin situation. But the point is, now here we are. You're seeing why they were so excited about this guy. And it's not just the passes. He was good in his own end. He was good with the puck. He was fencing with Kachuk at one point. I have no idea what they were saying to each other. They literally don't speak the same language, but they was mixing it up, and I think that's pretty good to see. Can they get Chatfield or Walker back for game 5? That really might change the complexion of things. Scott Morrow, I think, had 1 shift before the empty net goal in the 3rd and 2 in the 2nd, something like that. So clearly he's going to be a bit player. But Nikishin is basically their number 3D right now, and Brent Burns struggled again. I haven't been on the blame Brent Burns for everything bandwagon, but he's been pretty bad in these 2 games here.
He played a lot of minutes tonight, man. It was just like him and Slavin just were out there at a ton.
Yeah, I just am sort of over the Brent Burns experience at this point, I think.
So, and I guess let's close on this thing, because I think there's a little bit more to pick at when it comes to, and we can call it nitpicking with the coaching staff, but I think you just kind of nailed it with, they were scared of what they saw in Nikishin. Well, if you're going to be scared, that's kind of kind of inform you the rest of the way.
It also requires Morrow playing better.
It does require that, but it's not like Morrow had given you any real reason to think he was gonna play better than that. You see what I'm saying? So there is every coach is flawed. Every coach. All right. Rod is not above criticism in these types of situations. And you do wonder, and Burns is an example of this, in that dude is going to rely on the guys that he's comfortable with. He's going to rely on the veterans to a fault. And sometimes that can backfire on you because all you're doing is you're kind of slowing down what is the inevitability, and that inevitability is Nikishin.
He would. I mean, look, Burns wasn't coming out. Walker wasn't coming out. And to be fair, even the biggest Burns detractor would have to acknowledge you've gotten more out of Burns in these 14 games than you could possibly have gotten out of Nikishin, let alone Morrow. I think the debate is, should they have taken a longer look at putting Riley Stillman in for games 1 or 2, who is a bigger dude, who is a little more experienced, who you just tell him, just, off the glass and out, man, we'll do the rest. Because Morrow's inability to clear the puck or ability to fire it up the middle blindly killed him. I mean, it just killed him. And he tried another one again tonight. So, I mean, when you're just making basic mistakes like that, at that point you say, well, we should just play Nikishin. Then Walker gets hurt and you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
But I kind of wonder if we're going to, if we are going to relitigate this, whether if you're going to carry Riley Stillman in the playoffs, and, is there a point where you're going to play him over someone like Scott Morrow, who really struggled? I don't know. That's the one for me. Like, he's just a bigger dude. And in this series, you kind of need guys who can take a hit and make a play. And that's not really Scott Morrow's game, even at his best. So,
Luke DeCock, columnist, News and Observer. All right, man, we appreciate it. We'll see you Wednesday for Game 5.
All right. See you guys.
No pool for no pool at the arena this time. He was chilling down in Florida.
There's a pool at the Florida arena?
No. I guess wherever they were staying, they were just hanging out, having a good time, chilling, sunshine, as opposed to here.
Yeah, I don't understand what he didn't understand about the Panthers have a 4-3 record at home and a 7-2 record on the road to the playoffs. That's
their road record.
Obvious.
I don't have it in front of me, but their road record, even during the season, is it's you two just get stubborn sometimes.
That's fair.
It is what
it
is.
The number's fairly self-explanatory. It's not really something to argue.
No,
about.
if I can make the point for Luke in this situation, because I'm guessing Luke is tired and he's ready to go home. Who fucking cares what their road record is? You forced to Game 5. You're gonna take it.
Oh.
That's all. That's all.
Oh, I see.
Who
the other
fucking
way,
cares?
not be careful.
Yeah.
But rather, no, you take your chances.
Again, it's one of those things where it's like, yay! Like, because my thing is like, yeah, Game 5, and you're like, ah, shit. But Florida's really fucking good. But to Luke's point, and even if you're going to win the series, you're going to have to
win at home.
Win at home.
The opposite.
The opposite. You're going to have to win at home, and that's what we get back to Game 2, because that to me is probably going to be. I don't expect the Canes to win this thing in 7.
Okay.
I just don't. I don't see a reverse sweep. I mean, unless I burn the Rantanen jersey, which, you know what?
No.
If they tell you what,
is that?
I tell you what. If
Actually,
they win,
when I saw the candles, I was like, "Ooh, he might be doing it."
I might go get some real candles because I had the little like fakey ones from Target, right? I might get. I got enough time now to go get some real candles for Wednesday. If they win Game 5, I might burn the sucker.
No, I don't think you can until.
Do I burn it ahead of a Game 7?
No. I think you got to do the same thing.
Just keep doing the summoning circle?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No, you don't change that thing.
Okay.
You don't advance that.
I'm just throwing that out there. All right.
Because then if you burn it, then we'd have to go, and they win, then we'd have to go buy another. Burn it.
No, who's to say it just doesn't, leads to a Stanley Cup? I don't know. We'll see.
One gesture. It doesn't have to be in every game gesture.
If that's the case, then I'll go out and get a Patrick Marleau jersey and burn it.
But he actually played.
No, I know he actually played. All right. To a 336.
As the great Dave Doran says, shit, just be happy we won. And I'm fucking glad the Hurricanes finally fucking won one. Damn.
I love that Dave Doran's become a thing in
that at least wasn't a stray. It was a quote. It's better.
All right, to another 919.
Glad the Canes didn't go out, 0-4. Glad they showed a little grit, a little hustle. I'm just curious as to what you guys think will be the show up from Canes fans on the next game. I mean, obviously you still got life, but I feel like games 1 through 3 kind of just beat the hell out of the Canes fans, and I'm curious, man. I hope they show up. I hope they show out, but I certainly don't think these tickets are going to be going for the thousands of dollars that they used to be. I don't know. We'll see, man.
Yeah, I mean that's honestly, you want to talk about getting me to react in a way of like road record and all that kind of stuff and be like, what are you talking about? Who cares? The one I would have made the argument after game 1 on a random Thursday going into a holiday weekend that game 2 was going to be kind of meh. Ended up being a pretty good crowd on Thursday. I would expect that this would potentially be, I think Canes fans getting one last opportunity to, this is the potential to be the last game of the season for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Right.
So because of that, I would factor in that people will spend that money to go see the team potentially one last time. I think Canes fans are hyped up. You know, I think it's a matter of, hey man, we were roasting your ass in game 2. All right. Love them up a little bit. They'll come back for game 5. You know, they listened, so to speak. So that's always a factor as well. Oh man, Todd, I love the memes. Hang a banner. 2024, 2025 didn't get swept in the conference finals. That is some Indian, R.I.P. Ursay, who passed away last week.
Finalists.
But that's got some big
AFC
finalist energy to it. I am here for that. And one of our listeners found him. There he is, Chris Cody from the Levitard Show. Respect to the Hurricanes team for showing some fight on their 16th attempt at an Eastern Conference Finals game. Chris doesn't seem to be in the chat, though. How about that? Actually, let me do it my Stu Gotts voice. How about that?
Glad the Canes didn't go out.
I already played that one. Let me stop that one. Let's play this one. 704.
My condolences to TNT's color commentator rooting for that Florida goal at the end. It just didn't work out for him. Oh, here we go. 3-0.
Oh, that was in real time. All right, 2832.
So the night before game 1, didn't go to sleep. Not because of the game, just simply I just couldn't go to sleep. Actually, I probably could. It was like 4 a.m. when I looked at the clock. Listen, I'm a young Gen Z kid. I can pull this stuff off. And then I ended up sleeping through and going to sleep like 3 o'clock. So I slept through game 1. And they haven't played good since then. This was on accident last night. So I haven't slept since I woke up 7 a.m. yesterday. So it might have been I just needed to actually not get any sleep and watch the game at the same time. Yeah, I'm sleep deprived. Nothing's going to make any sense. But it might be me, guys. I don't know. But that was probably the effort was probably what people were talking about, because that was like they're diving at pucks the entire way through, and I'm going, yeah, that's Stanley Cup playoff hockey. It's just, to me, the first 3 games, and I'm screaming at the beginning of the game going, I knew how this game was going to go because they were playing like this in the beginning of the game. And I was like complaining about it. Where was this for 3 games? That's all right. They got a conference champion series win for the first time, and I don't know, I was young, probably really young, so it didn't even matter. But yeah, woohoo, Canes get a win. Hope Raleigh's hectic on what's the day of the week? Wednesday. All right. Good night.
How did he squeeze all that in
I
to
don't
the
know.
time limit?
I don't know. Is this kid okay? Just stay awake, bro. Do it for the team.
That was an adventure.
That really was. Although I'm more concerned by you.
Yeah.
Like who's like when you're hungover, do you get sick? It's like you have
No,
allergies.
I
or
have
something.
allergies now.
Now you have allergies. Do beers give you allergies?
Potentially. IPAs do. I'm convinced I'm allergic to them, but I didn't drink those.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Because the reason I was giving you that look is like, you can't drink IPAs.
No, I did
so
not do that.
Why
but
the
I am
hell
convinced.
are you drinking IPAs?
Yeah.
This is probably why we're not going to do an OG Heavy.
Yeah.
Even though I have a fantastic name for it, OG Heavy Atlantic Coast IPA instead of a West Coast IPA.
Ooh, I like that.
Wood could do it.
I like that.
I know he could do it.
No, Serena.
All right. To a 704.
Stumpy in Statesville again. Man, now that's what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't know where this team was the first 3 games, but thank fucking God. Freddie Anderson, first star. Alexander Nikishin, second star. Might have been the best player on the ice tonight. He is a monster. This dude is going to wreck the league for years to come. I cannot wait to see it. Don't want to get too ahead of myself, but if Chatfield or Walker or both can come back, we might actually have a chance. Honestly, if this team shows up in game 1, we might be talking about a sweep the other way.
No.
I'm just happy to see it. I'm glad the monkey's off our back. We don't have to hear anything else about this team being undefeated in the Eastern Conference Finals, blah, 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 blah. It's over. That's over. We don't have to hear it anymore. I don't care. I don't care if we lose the next one. I mean, obviously I do care. No, we want to win. We're going to take this thing back. I believe. Let's fucking go, boys.
From Suntaro, the hop sneeze is real. Fair enough. You know what? Michael makes a good point. An After Dark hanky. Can we get that officially sponsored?
Potentially.
The official handkerchief of the OG.
Yeah.
All right, to a 919.
Hey, yeah, put that fucking Russian guy in. That motherfucker. I mean, why are we Roy Williamsing that guy? Where's the fucking Drago guy? Put that fucking guy in. I mean, holy shit. I mean, he's out there fucking no-looking backhanded assists. Holy shit. Where's this guy been? Why are we covering this guy up? I mean, incredible. I mean, that dude is awesome. It may be in a lost cause, and you know what? Fine. That's fine. But hey, I mean, you got, whatever the cap space is, whatever. I mean, give that guy some of it. Holy shit. I mean, dude is awesome. Put him on the ice. I mean, this is like when Scott Forbes with the 14-0 lead the other day. Put the rookie pitchers in. I mean, holy hell.
Getting some cross baseball talk. Here we go. Roy Williamsing. Doesn't he mean Dean Smithing? Yeah, it's a valid point. No triangle coaches safe on the Canes after darks. You're right. You better come correct. They're going to call you out. To a 919.
Hey, boys. Good on the Canes. Let's win 3 more. Also, I hope Bissonnette sucks a cock.
What?
I don't know.
You know what? I'm not going to play that one again. All right, 907.
Hey, OG. It's Horace from Alaska. It's still the year of the kitty, boys. Still the year of the kitty. We're just going to do it slowly and Riley.
You know what? I'm glad that we had a Panthers person call the sports phone.
And from Alaska.
From Alaska. I love that. I absolutely
We're big in Alaska.
I love that. And we also got somebody in from Hawaii in the chat as well. All right. One last meme that my brother sent to me from NHL Humor. 1 in 15. You just let the fucking Carolina Hurricanes win a game in the conference final. Fold the franchise. That's the only way the Canes are going to get past the Panthers. They just out of embarrassment, out of embarrassment. I hope that Brad Marchand forgot his Lactaid while downing a blizzard. I really do. I hope he forgot it. It's the way it goes. All right. That's going to wrap it up for tonight's After Dark. No main show tomorrow. We will be back in normal action on Wednesday. And of course, we'll be back for an after dark later in the evening. You're making a face. You just want to go back. You just want to wait for the after dark on Wednesday? Because remember, we're going to be at
the famous friend of the program was wondering when we were going to do a pregame show. And I said, well, I was kind of saving those for the Stanley Cup final.
Who's that certain famous person?
He's from Garner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want?
Or we could go to the Breeze Room.
What do you want to do?
We could knock it out.
Well, aren't we supposed to go to? Aren't we supposed to go to the Raleigh Country Club on
Wednesday? We are at the Raleigh Country Club. You're right.
Yeah, we're at Raleigh. Now that person can come out to the Raleigh Country Club on Wednesday.
That's not really a pregame at 9:00 in the morning at the Raleigh.
Well, what? Yeah. Well, what time are we supposed to get out there? We don't have a time limit.
I know. We have a couple things we got to do over there. So,
all right. Will Roy show up?
That's a good question.
Is he in the pro-am this year or not?
Usually
he's there, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, Wednesday's good. We're good. I had something to look forward to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a nice calming day over there on Wednesday. I like that show.
Oh, well, when we're at the golf course?
That'll be our 3rd annual appearance too, right?
Al Stewart catching a stray. I love our chat. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up. Shout out to everybody for watching on the YouTube. Thanks to Bloomin' Blinds for sponsoring the After Dark. Call them at 919-980-9815. 10 or more window treatments, you get 10% off. You have something as simple as a repair for your blinds. They can do that too. Your one-stop shop. So call Chris and the crew over at Bloomin' Blinds, 919-980-9815. So that's going to wrap up for After Dark. We will see you on Wednesday from TPC. Get hype. Or not from not TPC, from Raleigh Country Club. Once you've been to a golf course, Joe.
Oh, boy.
No, I'm kidding. Raleigh Country Club is a fantastic spot. I'm kidding.
So thank you, Gomez. Thank you, crew. And fucking go Hurricanes.